Have you ever wondered why your mouth stays comfortably moist throughout the day? But the moment you smell your favorite food or take the first bite, saliva suddenly gushed in. Behind this seamless transition are two tiny relay stations working in perfect harmony, the submandibular ganglion and the otic ganglion. Today we will compare them side by side so you will never confuse them again. Let's begin with their location. The submandibular ganglion hangs from the lingual nerve under the floor of mouth close to the submandibular gland, while the otic ganglion lies in the infratemporal fossa just below the foramen ovale on the medial side of mandibular nerve. Both ganglia are physically associated with branches of trigeminal nerve, but functionally they belong to different cranial nerves. The submandibular ganglion is topographically related to lingual nerve, but functionally they belong to facial nerve. Similarly, the otic ganglion is topographically related to mandibular nerve, but functionally belong to glossopharyngeal nerve. Like all parasympathetic ganglia, both receive three roots. First is parasympathetic root. The journey of preganglionic fibers of the submandibular ganglion starts from superior salivary nucleus in the pons, while of otic ganglion, they originate from the inferior salivary nucleus of the medulla. Pathway. Preganglionic fibers of the submandibular ganglion travel with facial nerve, enters the chorda tympani and join the lingual nerve, and finally synapse in the submandibular ganglion. While these fibers of the otic ganglion travel through the glossopharyngeal nerve, continue in the tympanic nerve and form lesser petrosal nerve, and finally synapse in the otic ganglion. Second root is sympathetic root. Both ganglia receive postganglionic sympathetic fibers originating from superior cervical ganglion. However, they reach the ganglion through different arterial plexuses. The submandibular ganglion receives them through the plexus along the facial artery, while the otic ganglion receives sympathetic fibers through the plexus around middle pharyngeal artery. The third root is sensory root. The sensory fibers also pass through without synapsing. For submandibular ganglion, they travel through the lingual nerve, and for otic ganglion, they pass through the auriculotemporal nerve. Postganglionic distribution. After the synapsing, the postganglionic parasympathetic fibers from the submandibular ganglion, they travels with the lingual nerve to supply submandibular and sublingual glands. And from the otic ganglion, postganglionic fibers travels from the auriculotemporal nerve to supply the parotid gland. Function. Although both ganglia stimulate salivation, but their roles differ in timing and type of secretion. You can understand like this. The submandibular ganglion is a quiet worker. Throughout the day, even during night, the submandibular ganglion continuously stimulates the salivary gland to produce most of your resting saliva, keeping your mouth moist, lubricated, and comfortable. The otic ganglion, however, is a mealtime specialist. The moment you see, smell, or taste food, it activates the parotid gland, producing a large volume of watery enzyme-rich saliva for efficient chewing and digestion. Clinical correlation. The submandibular ganglion is associated with crocodile tear syndrome, while the otic ganglion is linked to Fraze syndrome. Both ganglia have the same mission to stimulate salivation, but they use different cranial nerves, different pathways, and different target glands. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, keep exploring anatomy, and I will see you in next anatomy animation.